to be educated, but I'm so frustrated.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Ooh. Come on, V, man. Ooh. You ain't been on this thing in a long time. Okay, I get it, man. Yeah, hey, we're gonna get into Anita Ward's song that she had, man. Your boy tripping out on.
Who's tripping?
Ring My Bell. Hey man, she's got a story. There's a big story behind this whole song, the making of it and why it was written and stuff like that. And that's kind of what we're gonna get into. She was like a one-hit wonder, but the story behind it is a little bit deeper than that most people don't know. So hang around to the bottom and let's learn a little bit more about that song, Ring My Bell.
Yeah, Anita, I would take you up on that, but lady, you never really specifically clarified what bell you were talking about in the song. Hey, ma'am, that could be a lot of things, you know? But that was, and is still, a great song, my people. I will always remember it, because when I was about in my second year of high school, my family took a trip that I never will forget. Yeah, I enjoyed it, but it didn't exactly start out to be for a happy occasion. We had traveled across the state because someone in my family had passed away. You know how it is during funeral time. Everybody was trying to hold themselves together. Family members you haven't seen in years are hugging each other, telling old stories, laughing one minute and crying the next. It was one of those weeks. But there ended up being a lot of joy by the end, at least for me. Because one evening my cousin said, "Come on, we're going to the skating rink." Now, if you grew up in the 70s and 80s when I did, you already know the skating rink wasn't just a place to skate. Besides the blisters on your feet, that was where you discovered the good music. Before social media, before streaming, before you could pull your phone out and hear whatever you wanted, the skating rink DJ introduced you to records you might not hear for weeks back home. That night, I heard 3 songs that absolutely stopped me in my tracks. The first one was Shame by Evelyn Champagne King. The second was And the Beat Goes On by The Whispers. Both of those records had a freshness about them that let you know R&B was changing. Then another song came on that didn't sound quite like either one of them, at least not to my ears. It was Anita Ward's Ring My Bell. Back then, rolling around that skating rink, it didn't sound like the other national hits I had been hearing back home. To me, it almost sounded like one of those records that belonged to that part of the region, something that everybody around there already knew about but hadn't made its way to me yet. Little did I know, I was the one who was behind. While I was hearing it for the very first time, that record was already building momentum and getting ready to become one of the biggest songs in the entire world. What grabbed me wasn't just the singing, it was the drum beat and that funky bass line. And then it had that funny little boo sound that hit on every downbeat, reminding me of something you would hear coming from an arcade game. It sounded futuristic, different, catchy. Before I knew it, that whole skating rink was moving to the groove. Looking back now, the funeral brought us together as a family, but that night at the skating rink gave me a musical memory I've carried throughout my life. Man, now let's get off the morbid tip and bring in some feel-good stuff you all want to hear about, right? Because the real story I'm about to get into is the true and rarely told stuff about the evolution of Ring My Bell, and I guarantee most of you will be surprised. You ready to get your bell wrong? Well, if you are, ding ding then. Most people think they know the story of Ring My Bell. They know Anita Ward sang it. They know it was a huge disco funk kind of a hit. They know folks still jump out of their seats whenever that groove starts playing. But what most people don't know is this song wasn't even written for Anita Ward. Nah, man, it was actually written for an 11-year-old little girl. Our story starts out where Anita Ward was born on December 20th, 1956 in Memphis, Tennessee. She was the oldest daughter of a minister and homemaker and raised in a highly musical family where she started singing in church choirs at age 9. This young girl grew up idolizing Aretha Franklin and Diana Ross. And as she developed into a mini diva, her talent eventually got her recognized by a producer at age 14, but her parents blocked early contracts due to her age. So she just finished high school and went on to earn a bachelor's degree in psychology at Russ College in Mississippi. This was where she toured globally with the school's a cappella choir. She even once had an opportunity to record in a Russ College ensemble alongside legendary opera singer Leontine Price. So she had a degree but also had a desire to be part of the music profession too. Fortunately, Something special was about to take place in 1978 for her in Memphis, where they had already earned its place in music history, with soul music pouring out of the city, gospel coming from the churches, blues living on every corner, and musicians who could play just about anything you put in front of them. And one of those talented people was songwriter and producer Frederick Knight, who loved Anita's voice and wanted to sign her to Warner Records.
It was Denise Williams that inspired me to like that voice, that high soprano voice. And I was looking for somebody that sounded that way. Along comes Anita, and she sounded just like that.
But prior to that, this Knight dude had once written a cute little song called Ring My Bell for a young singer named Stacy Lattisaw. Yeah, that's the Stacy, the Let Me Be Your Angel song girl. Stacy was 11 years old when Knight first met her singing at Washington, D.C.'s Fort DuPont Park on a show featuring Ramsey Lewis in the summer of 1978. And the song fit her age perfectly. At the start, it was just a playful tune about kids talking on the telephone. There was nothing for grown folks and nothing suggestive, just an innocent song for a talented young girl with a bright future ahead of her. But then, life happened. As Stacy turned 12 later that year, and before the song could ever be recorded, her team signed her with the Cotillion Atlantic Record Company instead. That one signature on one contract was about to change music history. Old Frederick Knight could have thrown the song in a drawer and forgotten all about it. A lot of writers probably would have. Instead, he looked at that melody and said to himself, "This song is too good to waste." So he decided to one day reinvent it. Anita Ward was already signed now, and they had released a single called Spoiled by Your Love, but it wasn't making much noise. And putting out her first album meant they still needed the right songs.
We needed an up-tempo song to complete her album. I still had this title in my back pocket, Ring My Bell.
Only this wasn't going to be the same song anymore. Knight kept the unforgettable title, but he rewrote the lyrics to fit an adult woman instead of a child. He never made the lyrics overly specific, and maybe that's one reason they've lasted so long, because different people hear different meanings. The thing is, Anita didn't like the song, nor even wanted to record it. She preferred singing emotional R&B ballads. Disco wasn't really where her heart was. But it's always about what will sell, and the album needed a song that could launch an album the right way, so she trusted Frederick Knight enough to give it a shot. Man, the recording itself moved at lightning speed. The entire production was finished in only 2 days. Back then, artists spent months, sometimes years, trying to make one-hit record. These musicians walked into the studio, put their talent together, and in 48 hours, created a song. People are still dancing to nearly 50 years later. When the record was released in April of 1979, it didn't take long before people realized they had something special. By the end of June, it had climbed all the way to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. It also reached the top of the R&B chart and became a worldwide smash. Music has a funny way of crossing every border people try to put around it. You didn't have to understand every lyric. That groove did all the talking. For Anita Ward, life changed overnight. One minute she was hoping for a break, the next minute she had one of the biggest songs on the planet.
When I see this is just, it was the beginning of a world I never thought I would be a part of. After 2 weeks, that record went gold. They played it in clubs and people kept asking, "Who is that? Play it again."
Henry Stone, who handled my label, Warner Records, he called me and told me to come to Florida to see him, and he had something to tell me. So when I went to Hialeah, Florida, where TK Productions was, he told me that they played that song, Disco, and the whole floor just filled up. He said, "This song is going to be the biggest song that I ever had." He kind of got a little irritated with me because I wasn't getting as excited about it as he thought I should. And he said, "You don't really understand what you have." I guess I don't, but it went on to be a huge record.
But as we've learned so many times on this channel, success and happiness don't always arrive together. Her next single couldn't come close to matching the success of Ring My Bell. Then in 1981, tragedy struck. Her manager, Chuck Holmes, died unexpectedly while in Mexico. That same year, Anita was involved in a serious automobile accident that left her with a fractured skull. As she struggled to recover physically, another battle was waiting: the music business itself. Legal disputes with Frederick Knight tied up her career. Financial problems followed. Her record company eventually collapsed, and despite having one of the biggest hits of the disco era, Anita Ward saw very little of the money many people assumed she had earned. Think about how heartbreaking that must have been. You create a song that generations of people dance to, meanwhile you're forced to go back to teaching and even move back in with your parents because the business side of music didn't treat you fairly. That's why I always tell people, learn the business as well as the music. Talent opens the door, business determines whether you get to keep the house.
It's just learn about the business that you love. Don't let the passion for the music part make you become stupid.
Still, Ring My Bell refused to die. In 1991, DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince introduced the song to a younger audience with their own version. Years later, Anita discovered she was owed royalties after her husband recognized the song in a Burger King commercial. Believe it or not, the company handling the royalties had mistakenly believed she had passed away. Imagine finding out money with your name on it had been sitting there because somebody thought you were dead. Only in the music business, brothers and sisters. Then going into 2003, she stood in Times Square on New Year's Eve and sang the song before hundreds of thousands of people. Decades had passed, yet everybody still knew it. And just when you thought the story was over, another generation found it. In 2026, a viral TikTok trend claimed the song contained a special frequency that could attract wealth or even improve your luck on slot machines. Come on, dawg. Y'all really that stupid? There is no evidence the song has any magical power. But the video spread like wildfire anyway, introducing millions of younger listeners to a record their parents and grandparents had been dancing to for decades. Weekly streams shot into the millions once again. Now that's staying power. Every time I hear Ring My Bell today, I hear more than a disco classic. I hear Frederick refusing to throw away a good song. Anita Ward taking a chance on a song she wasn't even crazy about. The joy of that skating rink during a week when my family needed something to smile about. The beautiful thing about music is, a song written for one person always has the ability to change a whole other person's life.
Yeah, man, Anita Ward, that's one heck of a woman when it comes down to a voice. Sounded just like Denise Williams. Hey, she's still around, kicking it. She's about 69 years old, been married about 30 years, has a daughter named Dominique who's getting into the game. Dominique Duarte, I think that's how you say her last name and stuff like that. But she went through it all, man. I mean, she was a teacher, substitute teacher, then a teacher until she got into the music game and stuff like that. And when things got tough, man, she didn't have no ego. She was actually working at JCPenney's, cashing people out and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And after that accident, she ended up having to go back and live with her parents for a while till she got back on her feet. But the song, one heck of a song, man, and you know it. And that's why you came here. And I hope you appreciate this on the Music Mindset channel where we tell the stories that need to be told. I'm going to see you guys next time.